Well, hello, it's Tuesday, Book Review Tuesday with Librarian Lucille. How are you? Did you get through the Christmas holidays okay? That was a crazy week. I'll tell you, power and energy was all over the place, right? So during that time of disruption, shedding, and everything that was going on in my life, I went back to some grounding reviews. Or books that I had read. Sorry, reviews are on the book. Sorry. It was a podcast that I listened to when I went on a road trip, a solo road trip down to the Four Corners area. And I was introduced to this scholar, young man. His name is Ryan Holiday. And Ryan had written a book at the time that they were talking about with him. I think it was called Courage is Calling. He wrote it in 2021. So it was very relatively new when I listened to the podcast last year. He has written, though, two other books that I have read. One is Ego is the Enemy, and the other one is The Obstacle is the Way. Now, let me show you. Oh, he has a podcast too, Daily Stoic, I think is the podcast. So this is what he looks like, Ryan Holiday. There's his name spelled. So you can look him up. He has a podcast, he has an email, he'll send you out a daily thought about Stoicism. And you can join his list. If you want to read his books, they are really grounding. This is the one that I read last year, The Obstacle is the Way. And right after that, I read Courage is Calling. Ego is the Enemy is another trio that he brought out. I have not read that one yet, though I should. It would be a good one for me to be aware of, because I'm coming out of a very ego-centered life. And I'm trying to get rid of some bad habits and stuff that I created during that period. If you have any interest in getting grounded and rooted and hearing more about the wisdoms of the ages and some of the philosophers of old, these are not deep thoughts. Well, I have to take that back. Some of them are. Some of them I take and I post them up somewhere in my house and I ponder on them for periods of time so that I can get the answer to what that sentence is saying for me in my life. If you have an interest in delving into a really great author, he has over 20 some odd books that he has written, and they are easy to read. I would highly suggest, though, that you get them in paper so you can make notations and highlighting and stuff. It's difficult to do with an e-reader, and if you're doing when you're listening to audibles, if you're doing audibles, this might not be the author to do that type of enjoyment of a book. I would strongly suggest you get the paper book so you can start highlighting and then you can go back and reread it, as I have done with books. So I have gone back and reread them, and when I do, I get a whole different message out of them because something else in my life is aligned and I get more meat out of feasting on these books. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy Ryan Holiday's books, which whenever calls to you. My favorites again are The Obstacle is the Key, and Courage is Calling are my two favorites that I have read of his. It tells you what's going to be in the book in the title. So whatever calls to you, enjoy.